So you can hear in this sample that there's no vocals, no crazy drums going on. If you're struggling making sample beats and you feel like you can't get the chops and all that, trust me, sampling is nothing that should be hard. Think about looking for samples as friends. Some of you guys are trying hard to make friends with people that is just not gonna work out with, versus just making friends with the people that y'all just click right away. And that's how I like to think about searching for samples. I'm not about to spend hours figure out how I'm going to chop this just because it's my favorite song. Like, no, skip that, bro. So right off the back, I already like the intro, so I'm just going to go to the intro, and I like to use the zoom. Not only does it zoom in to the point that you're at, you can also press start, and then I can move to start, and you can see how it just jumps right to the start. So this is all dead space that I want to get rid of, and I'm gonna bring it close. And what you can also do is hold down shift and go to 0 snap. That's just going to bring it close to that point, so it's not going to get any clicks. We could just get like right there, press minus to kind of zoom out. And then the way I like to count it, it will be like this. I'm gonna hit pad 16 because pad 16 will loop the samples. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4. Boom. If you count it this way, not only do you keeping track of the bars that you have, you're gonna get that loop. All right, so now we know that we got a nice loop going on. I could easily just go to process now, and you could choose from discard or extract. Now, discard is if you don't want to use anything else from the original sample. But for me, there is a couple of things that I did here in the original sample that I may want to keep. So all I'm gonna do is just go to extract, so I could just have this chop separate and just name this chop, and then press do it. And then from here, you see nothing happen. Click up here, and then I'm just gonna go to chop, because that's what I named it. Now, usually on 2.0, the way I would sample is mess with the tune just to find the vibe. Using tune, it changes the pitch and the tempo, which is cool in this instance, because in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to find something that sounds dope. But the only problem about this is that I can't see what tempo I'm at. So now on the 3.4, you know, what you can do is go to main, and let's keep in track that the MPC says that BPM is 87.77. Usually, I'm gonna always round it up. I would say this will be 88. And you can easily test this. We're gonna assign this first to a pad. So let's go to assign, and then you can see that it's going to pad 1, whatever I click, it will change up here. Press do it. And then now I can hit main. And I have my sample. And going back to how I said you could test it, you could come up here. I just round it to 88. So let's hear it if we record it at 88 BPM. It should snap. So we're gonna do record and play start. Hit the pad. I could turn on the metronome, shift and play start. And you can hear that it looped properly. Now let's say I left it on 87. Let's hear how that would sound. So then you get your answer that, okay, that makes sense to round it up, because then it fits a lot better. Now from here, what I was saying about using tune and not being able to see the tempo on 3.4, we can go to our track edit mode. And if you don't have track edit right here, you can just go to menu and find your track edit. It just looks like this icon. Go to track edit. Then you want to go to sample. It's going to say warp right here. And then now when you go down to algorithms, there's a feature called re-pitch, which is the same as the re-sample, where it's going to change your pitch and the tempo. But you definitely want to lock in the right BPM, and the right BPM is 88. Now I can go up here and just start changing the tempo. And I like 100 because I already know 100 can be like that Shoreline Mafia type of beat, or it can be like Detroit type of beat. Since I have my sample, I'm not going to try to like figure out, oh, how I can get crazy and get unique and try to chop this up to sound even more different. I already made it sound different by changing the pitch and the tempo. A lot of you guys are listening to producers that be in their ego so much, or just have so much pride in the wrong things. And what I mean by that is, like, you think that you have to do all these things to make a dope sample beat. In all reality, Most of these guys that you look up to don't really do that on all occasions, bro. I done seen Alchemist, he will literally have a loop that he cut out and then he would throw drums on it. And people want to act like people don't do that, and they do. And there's no problem about it. It's about how you hear the sound. So moving on, I could always come back to that, and that's what I'm gonna do, especially when I show you guys how I'm gonna arrange the samples. So make sure you keep staying in tune in this video. We're gonna go to a new drum track, go to drums. So now I could go to my drums. Ooh. And when it comes to sound selection, if you listen to your genre a lot, then you're gonna be able to understand what sounds they're using. So I know I heard snaps in these West Coast beats, so I know I can use snaps. Let's go to our mixer. Bring down the volume. So I press mix to go within my track. The first time you press mix, it's going to show you your tracks. Then to go within your tracks, which is your pads, you just press mix again. And I'm just going to bring down the snap a bit, and I'm going to press mix again and bring down the sample a bit. Let's get in some other sounds. So double tap menu. I know they like to use congos. And here's another thing. Even though I heard like congos and West Coast beats, congos is just a natural sound of bounce because you see people dance to it. So you know that it's gonna be able to have that groove. So we could put that on pad 3. And then, you know, they gotta have shakers in the beat, so we could just load that. Cool, turn down the shakers. And what I could have done too is go to track and just turn down this whole drum track, but it's okay. Oh, that crash sounds nice. We could add a crash over here. And most of this genre is just about layering that main pattern. If we go to our grid view, you can already see how most sounds are being layered. And that's what I'm gonna do with the crash. And you see how I'm pretty much just match it with the Congo. And I also left out the first one and I add the first one in the second half. If I just layer everything and not have a variation, then it's gonna sound boring. So think about variation. I like how this cowbell sounds. Remember, green, load, it will go to that pad. I actually wanted to get that bounce over here. So let me just move. Oh, if you mess up, just press undo. And I went to the select tool because I did that pretty fast. Just highlight it and then let's nudge it over. See, having that difference of I only play one, I didn't just play this twice, that sounds boring, it gets repetitive. Now understand with music is a balance of repetition, because a lot of you guys will listen to other producers that's telling you like, oh, this is why trap beats suck because there's no musical expression. It's like they want you to make a composition versus a song. Those are two different things. Composition can lead to all different type of melodies going on, but a song definitely has repetition. But too much repetition could be bad. And the way you will break that up is just by doing stuff like that. I play one over here, but then I play two over here. I think I also want to clap because this genre definitely has claps. Once we have our groove, now the kicks, we don't have to do so much. And all I did was follow the congos. And like I said, this genre is about layering. So I do want to add like a stump to it. We could go to our 808s now. So new track, this time we're going to use key groups, because key groups is for if you want to play it out like a keyboard and you want to be in the right key at all times. So we could go to key groups. I'm gonna load my 808. So double tap menu. I like this 808 called Arcadia. Now, here's the thing. In 2.0, it could just load right away, but as you can see, when I hit the pad, nothing's happening. For some reason, you just gotta go to track edit and you will see that nothing's been added for some reason. I'm not at the update of 3.4.3. I haven't done that yet. Maybe they fixed that. You just come down here, remember, go to memory and then find your 808, boom. Now you see how it's just cutting off fast? All you wanna do is go to global, and this is just the setup when you do 808. So it's not that it's messed up, it's just that you just have to hold down the note when you have it on note on. So if you wanna mess around with the duration, it's good to have note on, but usually when it comes to 808s, since it's not a bass, I just play it out like this. It's a lot more fun. And then you could come over here to global to put it to mono so that it doesn't overlap. From here now, there's still one more step that you need to take. Shift and mute, go to sample edit mode. You can see that this is in the key of D sharp minor. Now you wanna make sure your root note is set to D sharp so it can be in sync with your project. You wanna go to the second screen, and as you can see, the root note is C. You just need to go to your root note and change it to E flat, which is D sharp. Don't worry about major since it's just only one note, and you hardly ever have to worry about this side. And then now we're in sync with our project. You can do shift and 16 levels to get the pad perform. From here, we can figure out what key this sample is in, and we could just go to chromatic first so that we can play it chromatically. Let's just go to a higher octaves, and we can use our pad banks to do that, or we can go up here, or right here, I mean. So you can see C, C sharp, D, and then let's just play the sample and figure out the keys. Now, just from my ear, I know that the sample first note is playing a G, but it's saying this is a F sharp, and I know it can't be a F sharp, so let me go back to sample edit and make sure everything is correct. It might just be on an E. I could just go to G minor. And let's see. So now what I'm doing is listening out for that bass in the sample. Now, if you can't hear it that clear, what you can do is mute your drums, go to your sample, go to mix, and go to effects right here. But remember, make sure you're on the right track. Go to effects, press one of the slots, and go to a low pass filter, bro. So you can really hear it. Like, this is how you train your ears too. Doom, 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 doom. It's starting from that G note, so it's like, it's doing something like this. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. It's just really that pattern, bro. You could just follow that same pattern, and I like that pattern. So I missed that other note, but I'm just going to redo this part. So I just highlight it, hold down shift to cut it, and then I could just press play from here, overdub and play, so it can start from this point. Just move this a bit over. Once you have that, bro, you could just highlight and drop everything an octave, or you can go to main and go to transpose and transpose it down -12, because that's how much it takes to get to the octave below. And then you just do multiples of 12. So the next would be 24 if you want a lower octave. In this instance, I would just go to mix and just put in a distortion plugin. And I could go to modulation. First, just make sure the stereo width is in mono. Like, I want this sample to be in mono if it's not already. Harmonics, and you can use soft clipper if you have it. Yeah. And then for that track with the sample, go to effects and use an EQ to cut out that low end, because we already heard that that low end is in that sample. I could go to high and low cut, come down here, and just turn this on. So then you can hear that 808 a bit more. So now we have our main pattern. This is gonna lead us into the arranger. I'm just gonna go past this a little bit fast. I do have an in-depth video on the arranger, and you could watch that after this. But I just wanna show you more so how you could arrange your sample so it doesn't just have the same loop playing all the way through. And if you've been liking this video so far and you wanna show support to this channel, I would really appreciate it if you guys go to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You could either buy me a coffee, or you could buy my ebooks that are from 2.0, but it works on 3.4. A lot of the same features on 2.0 is still on here. Like sample edit mode is still the same. Pad perform is still the same. Track edit is still the same. Like there's only a couple things that's been added, and I am going to be coming out with the third book. Just want you guys to know that. So let's get to the arranger. This is where our whole beat is. And I did realize that second half wasn't playing because I only had it on 4 bars when the loop itself is actually an 8-bar loop. So we're just gonna bump this up to 8. But if we do that, keep in mind now, we go back to our arranger and we zoom out. Our sample is at 8, but then our drums are not. So what we're gonna have to do is just go to grid view, and then we could just highlight our drums, press copy, and just nudge it over. Simple as that. Now we have our whole 8-bar loop. Let's say I wanted to make the intro a bit creative. What I can do is go to edit, and I can insert some bars. So I can insert about 8 bars because that's how long the sample is, and I kind of want to play out that whole sample. And then I'm gonna do it before bar 1, which is just mean it's gonna start like this. So everything has been pushed over. So I'm gonna go to main. I'm gonna go to where my sample is, which is on pad 1. And then I'm gonna do shift and mute. So remember, this is my original chop. This is not the chop that I re-pitch. And I do still like how this pitch of the original chop sounds. But I still gotta match it to the tempo. So this time I'm not gonna be re-pitching it because I wanna maintain this pitch but change the tempo. So the way I would do this is first I gotta copy the sample. So I could just do that by process, go to copy, and I could do chop 2. Do it. So then I'll just come up here, chop 2. Sounds the same, right? All right, go to process though. Now you want to time stretch from here. We see beats, original tempo, and let's look at new tempo. 21.93, you can obviously see that can't be correct. And another thing to point out is the beats. It's showing 8 beats. Now in a 4/4 time signature, meaning that there's 4 beats in 1 bar, then if you do the math, if there's 4 beats in 1 bar, if it's showing 8 beats, that means they think this loop is 2 bars, because 4 times 2 is 8. What you want to do is understand that we counted 8 bars, right? There's 4 beats in a bar, remember? So we got to do 8 times 4. And what does 8 times 4 give us? 32. Yes, on the MPC, you got to use your head. And if you find this an issue, then you're the issue, bro. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like, this is why AI can take over many producers, because a lot of producers is going to start losing their musicianship and giving it up to AI. And if you give too much to AI, especially your musicianship, then you're no longer the musician. It's AI that will be the musician. We're gonna change this to 88, because like we said, 88 fit better. And the new tempo is 100. So do it. And remember, I'm doing it this way because I want to maintain the pitch and just change the tempo to the tempo of the project. So once I have this, I could then easily assign this to pad 2. So that's how pad 2 would sound. Go to arranger. I could record that in. It's a long intro, but trust me, somebody could vibe out. You can turn down that 808. just keep messing with the arranger and just keep moving throughout your whole song, bro. It doesn't really have to get any more complicated than that. If you want to see me do another video finishing this up and also mixing this a bit more, because this was just a rough mix, and then I will show you how to export it. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a video like that. But for now, if you like this video, like and subscribe, share with your other producer friends, and I hope this helped.